So now let's talk about the navigation tools. Now for AutoCAD, I'll highly recommend that you use at least a 3-button mouse with left click, right click, and a middle scroll wheel with click function. Now if you don't have it, if you are using it on a laptop, then also I'll recommend that you attach a mouse with your laptop and use this software with at least a 3-button mouse. Now if you don't have a mouse, you can still use AutoCAD and you can still use the navigation tools using touchpad, but it will be a little tricky and a kind of a time-taking thing. Alright, so let's start with panning your drawing. Now I have this drawing here, and if you want to move it around in your drawing, then simply click your middle mouse wheel and hold it. Don't let it go. So here, if you do that, your cursor will change into this hand icon. Now as long as you have this hand, it will let you pan your drawing. So now I'll move my mouse and the entire drawing will move with it, and this is called panning our drawing. Alright, I'll let go my middle mouse wheel. Now for laptop users, you can simply right click and from here you can select pan. And now we have this hand icon. So click, and in this case I mean left click, and move your mouse, and there we are panning it. Once you are done, you can press this escape key on your keyboard and we are back to normal. Alright, now let's talk about the next tool, which is zoom. So for zooming in and out, all you need to do is just rotate your mouse wheel. So move your cursor to the location which you want to zoom in. For example, I want to zoom inside this lift, so I'll move it here, and now I'll rotate my wheel in one direction and it's zooming in. In another direction, it will just zoom out. If I move it here, it will zoom this part of the drawing, and if I move my cursor here, it will zoom this part of the drawing. Again, for touchpad users, you can right click and select the zoom tool here. Now left click, move it up to zoom in, move it down to zoom out. Press escape to exit this. Now there is a zoom feature which is really very useful, and that zoom feature is called zoom extents. Now zoom extents is useful when you have completely out of scale drawing. For example, if I zoom out this drawing to a tiny dot, if I zoom it so far enough that it kind of almost looks like a tiny dot, and even in this case you cannot even see that drawing. So in this kind of situation, if you open your drawing and you end up with a blank file like this, but you are sure that there is something in this file, then you can use this zoom extents tool to bring everything back. Now zoom extents can be accessed simply by double clicking your middle mouse wheel. So I'll double click my middle mouse wheel, and there we are. Everything in your drawing will fit in the visible drawing area. Now you can access zoom extents tool from here as well. So on the navigation bar, we have zoom extents right here. We do have other zoom tools. For example, you can just click this arrow, and here we have some zoom tools. Now this is completely out of screen, hence you are not able to see it, but we do have these tools. Let me just bring it here, and then I'll click. So I'll click here, and now you can see these tools. So here are all the zoom tools. And the first one is zoom extents. So if I select zoom extents, here we are. You can also simply click here and it's going to just zoom extend this. There are other zoom tools as well here. For example, we have zoom window, which will let you create a window and it will zoom everything inside the window. For example, if I make a window here, it will zoom everything in that window. And there are other zoom tools, but we may not need all of these zoom tools because you can simply rotate your mouse wheel to access zoom, which is much more practical way of using zoom tool than this one. So I'll just move it again on the right side here. All right. Now let's talk about using selection set. And selection set is the method of selecting objects. Now as you can see, we have several objects in this drawing, and if you want to make a selection, if you want to select any particular object, all you need to do is just go to that object and click on it once, and the object is selected. Now if you want to select several objects, then keep on clicking on multiple objects and it will add more objects in your existing selection set. You don't need to press and hold your control key or shift key, that's not required. Simply keep on clicking and it will add the objects in your selection set. Now if you want to remove object from your existing selection set, then press and hold shift key and now click on an object, and AutoCAD will remove that object from selection. So press and hold shift, click on an object, it will remove it from your selection set. Now if you want to select several objects quickly, then you can do that using selection window or crossing window. So now this is what we call selection window. Now click anywhere in the drawing area and let go your cursor. Don't click and hold, just click, let go. Now move your mouse, and this kind of window is called selection window. You'll get this kind of solid window which is blue in color with this solid boundary. Now everything inside this window will be selected. If however you move it kind of like this, then it will select everything which is completely inside. But look at these two objects. These two objects are not selected because they are partially inside and partially outside. So everything should be completely inside for this selection to work. Now I'll click and everything which was completely inside the window is selected. Now we have another one which is called crossing window. Now for that I'll just click here and I'll move my cursor towards left side. Once again, click and let go your mouse. Don't click and hold. And this kind of selection cursor is called crossing window. Now in this case, everything which is inside as well as on the boundary will be selected. So let me do that again. I'll click and I'll make it like this. Now as you can see, once again we have these two objects which are completely outside. They're almost outside this window, and there is a tiny bit of this desk set which is actually touching the boundary, but still it will be included in the selection set because of the crossing window. So everything which is inside is of course selected, and anything which even touches the boundary will be selected. So I'll click and here we have a new selection set. Now here also, if you want to remove anything from the selection, simply press and hold shift, click on the objects, and the object will be removed from your selection. Press escape and we are back to normal. And then finally we have a lasso selection. So click and hold your cursor, don't let it go this time, and now move your mouse and you'll get this freehand kind of selection. Now if you move towards right, you'll get this kind of freehand selection. Everything inside this selection will be added to your selection set, and if you click and hold your cursor and move towards left, you'll get a crossing lasso. Now here everything inside as well as on the boundary will be selected. So that's the crossing lasso selection. Finally, let's talk about using commands. Now, there are two different ways of using commands in AutoCAD. You can access commands simply by clicking in the ribbon area. So here we have ribbon area, we have the panel, and these are all commands. To start a command, simply click on it. So if you want to start line command, just click and the line command will start. And when a command is active, its name, its icon, and the description will show up here on the command line. Not only that, your cursor will look either like this point selection cursor, which is basically two perpendicular lines, or I'll press escape key and I'll go to the second command, which is trim. Well, this is called pick box. So when a command is active, your cursor will either look like this box or two intersecting perpendicular lines. Once again, here also you can see that we have the icon of the command, we have its name and the description. Now the second method of starting a command is with its command name or alias. For example, line command has its command alias L. So you can simply type L and press enter and line command will start. Now for typing a command, you just don't need to go to this command line and you don't need to click here actually. You can just start typing and AutoCAD will type your command directly in the command line. So I'll type L, press enter, and here we are. You can also type its full name. So LINE is the full name of command, press enter, and again the command will start. So that's how you can start a command, and if you want to exit out of a command, simply press escape key. Now you can press escape key a few times and that's completely fine. So that's about using commands.